anything with Diddy. He was like fucking so bad.
Oh, he knew he knew about Diddy beforehand, right?
No,
Crazy.
no, he was just racist. Um,
Welcome to Passed Out. I'm Josh,
This is Arash.
and we are joined again by our special guest, Laurel, and we are adding a new special guest today. Everybody say hello to Rob.
Yay, Rob.
Hello.
All right, Arash, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll just let this kind of get started wherever you guys want to start.
Well, Rob, we've known each other for about 10 years, and I feel there's a lot I don't know about you. But today we were going to go into the world of Satanism to start off, and I know you have some interesting stories regarding it, that and magic. So, yeah, describe to us what your experiences with that.
Oh, I mean, I really only had like one real experience with Satanists, and that was trying to join the Satanic Temple, like TST, the local group out of San Diego, and they wouldn't take me because I practice magic. I was like, what?
So what kind of magic were you practicing that they didn't allow you to?
I mean, I had just mentioned hermetics and, as a framework for supporting, further study into, chaos magic as an extension of reality.
So
well, that's not real, Michael. You've obviously never done this shit before.
what are hermetics?
Oh, like Western occult practices based on the teachings of like Aleister Crowley and W.B. Yeats, and I think Arthur Edward Waite was part of Golden Dawn. Like Golden Dawn was one of the groups. They don't really have groups anymore, like they do, but like they're not like, you don't have to do group work, that type of thing. It's actually less helpful if you're thinking about what somebody else is doing in this particular case, because a lot of it's about like self-evolution.
What's the craziest magic you've ever done?
Oh shit. Well, I've been at it for a while now. When I was like fresh out of high school, the girl I was dating, her dad was and her stepmom were into Wicca, and I had like moved in with her dad and stepmom for a while. And after I left there, I had went and put a group together to do my own initiation when I was in was doing like a Job Corps assignment in western rural Kentucky, and it was more of the result of the magic. Like 1 minute I'm just walking across a field, and the next minute everything around me is on fire, and then it's not. But it wasn't just like the fire; it was like huge wings, and that you could like hear, like the sky was like super red, like there was like a forest fire just like surrounding me. And I totally know what that looks like now, and it looked very similar to the way the sky looked in the forest fires in Northern California probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Was this magic called DMT?
No, I was very sober actually.
So what do you do to like? Do you do hacks? Do you get do you light shit on fire? How do you get these to work?
Oh, I mean, it's like autonomic, right? So, are you eating or drinking anything right this second?
No.
Okay, so, like your body like you can't just tell it to do something, right? You have to trick it. That makes sense. It's called autonomics. And this is like the very basis of kind of where my understanding of it comes from. It's like imagine walking to your fridge, and I got this from a writer, from a book that I'm reading called Modern Magic, by Donald Michael Craig. So like this is his way of explaining autonomic reactions. So you're walking to your fridge, you open the fruit drawer, and you pull out a lemon, and you notice, the cool exterior of its skin. You put it up to your nose, you could smell it's like super sour and astringent, and but not super astringent because it's still like covered in its casing. And you take a knife, you're visualizing all of this, of course. You take a knife out of the knife rack, and you cut open this imaginary lemon. All of this being visualization, by the way. And you put one half of that lemon up to your nose, and you can smell like how the astringent quality got really, really strong, and you just take a big bite out of it. Now, if you're visualizing it, there should have been a response. Do you know what that response is?
Like your memory or something?
Your face
You have
puckering.
more saliva in your mouth, don't you?
Oh.
But did any of you happen to visualize it?
Totally.
Did you get the more saliva?
Maybe at the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the whole point. You can't just tell your mouth, give me more saliva. But you can visualize things to get what you need in a lot of cases. Visualization plays a huge part in what I do as far as like dealing with angels or, any of the rituals involves an incredible amount of visualization. And that's why the repetition is necessary. Like it takes the main ritual that they gave initiates back in the day was the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, which was considered to be the philosopher's stone of magicians. Probably still is. And it strengthens your aura. You know what I mean? It puts you. It's kind of like introducing yourself to the bouncer to let you in the club.
And
So that way when you
why is this
What's
looked
that?
down upon? Why is this looked down upon from the Church of Satan?
Oh, I think their issue was like a thing with theism, the anti-theist. It's really weird. It's like, what's that belief system where you don't believe in anything?
Atheism?
What's that?
Agnostic
No, it starts
or
with a D.
atheist?
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart.
I have an thought
Nihilism.
too.
It's kind of
Nihilism,
like,
yes.
yeah, it's kind of like nihilism, but somebody else that I was interacting with that has also interacted with, I think, a different group, but they summarized their interaction with, or the summation of the whole gist of what's happening over there is it's Scientology from all gods, specifically with TST. Without the without the influence of
So what did you do that day when you saw fire all around? Like what were you trying to do that it led to that?
I was just initiating myself as a witch.
So what do you do to initiate yourself?
Well, it's just initiating your practice, right? It's just using symbolism and
So like walk us through it. Like what would that if I wanted to do it? It like Well, what I need.
I mean, yeah, there's not really one way to do it. So, you know, using the system that I'm using now, I would say doing that. Learn how to do the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. That is the foundation of every bit of understanding of magic that I have. It
How do you do
that it well
the way you
could start.
understand?
Yeah, you could start with Donald Michael Craig's book Modern Magic. That's developed into like a system of lessons rather than chapters, and it's not dumbed down, but it's simple enough that a man like Damian Eccles, one of the West Memphis Three, was able to use that book to master his own magic while falsely accused and under oh god, what's it called? Um, he was like on death row, but they had him in isolation.
Yeah, I remember that. But like, is it just a bunch of like? Well, I don't know if prayers are the right word to say. Like, is it something verbal that you do? Is it something physical?
It's kind of like it's like a physical. Basically, what I'm doing are physical expression of prayers. If you want to look at it from a Christian perspective.
Okay.
I'm not here to wake anybody up necessarily, but if it helps somebody understand that, is looking for more, then that's definitely where I would start, is looking inward, really. And that's like the whole beginning of his system involves meditation and grounding, specifically with like a something he calls a relaxation ritual to do before the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, because at the end of the day, like if you went into that ritual angry, it's going to amplify it, and you're going to come out fucking pissed.
Gotcha. Now I feel like I've been hogging the questions. Josh or Laurel, do you have any questions?
How did you get started in this?
Like
what
with
was
hermetics?
What was your introduction to all of this stuff? Yeah.
Well, I had found Lieber Newland's Psychonaut by Peter Carroll and read that, and I actually made TikToks about some of the pieces of it. And I found that because of a podcast called The Last Podcast on the Left. They do more like true crime and like conspiracy theories, but they have like a bunch of weird stuff too. And they had like a magic series back in the day. And I found it interesting, chaos magic, but it was too unstable without a framework of like a workflow, and it was making shit all wonky and fucked up as often as it was making things, make more sense. But at the end of the day, without the framework, that hermetics kind of gives, it's like chaos magic was like driving Hell's Pass with Arash on Christmas Eve, in that blizzard without a guardrail, but not heating to the slowing down because of the snow, right? So like you're leaving a lot to chance. And like I just I think I found it because of Aleister Crowley, and kind of like when I found Damian Eccles' work, I wanted to learn from what he learned from before I started on his own stuff, which he's the one who led me to angel work. But yeah, I found it because of looking for more stability in my practice.
I have a question about the chaos magic. What is the drive behind wanting to practice that in the first place? Were you in like a reckless frame of mind, or
Cutting corners on the
like
great work.
what would be the
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
The whole purpose of magic is to shape your own reality. So in a way, it's like it seems like it's a good way to cut corners, um, because at the end of the day, ceremonial magic is uh, it can get complicated. It's not a very simple thing. It's very rewarding. You know, there's definitely way, but it has like a system. Like with chaos magic, there's not really a system. There's operations they give you examples of, but there's not really a system for like surrounding yourself with like the elemental protections and things like that.
Now, have you ever done hexes on anyone?
Have I ever what?
Have you ever done hexes?
Hexes? No, no. I haven't really experimented with too much practical magic, save for um, maybe some abundance related things when I was much younger and I was doing gig work. So I was like, doing candle magic to get, more jobs and stuff. But, that's probably the closest I ever came to like actual practical magic. A lot of the crazier stuff that I've stumbled upon or experienced has, at first glance, would suggest by accident. But, the further I get into my practice, I realized how these things happened.
Now, you told me a while back that you made some music that was some sort of chant, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, it was based on the Wicker Man, and I wanted to practice throat singing, and it's just a comfortable place to start with the timbre of my voice as far as like recording and stuff. So, um, I just kind of came up with a chant based off of, you know, uh, the end of the movie where they were burning the person alive. But
So
it's
that's
meant to be
how
like,
that's a chant you wanted to use for your children or for your child coming to the world.
no, it was like a metaphor for a sacrifice. Um,
Well, like sacrificing yourself for the kid or something.
I mean, sacrifice is an important part of just about everyone's practice. Like without it, like how are you supposed to expect? You only get what you put in. Um, Now, that doesn't mean that I'm talking about animal sacrifice. I'm talking about time. I'm talking about like taking an extra hour in a ritual and circumambulating, certain parts of the ritual to intensify the overall effects of it. Things like that. Um, Odin actually had a pretty good example of why sacrifice was so important when he sacrificed himself on the world tree and hung there for 9 days and 9 nights.
Who did that?
Odin, the
Mm.
Nordic, um, he's like uh, top dog of the Nordic Aesir. So that they had the
Thor's
Aesir,
dad.
yeah, Thor's dad. But there's two divisions of those gods. There's the Aesir and the Vanir, and there might be other divisions, but the Vanir are more like elementals and things like that, like fairies and elves and stuff.
Now you're big into Norse mythology. Um,
Uh Got into it for a little while. It's definitely part of my
but that,
heritage.
is there magic involved in that too, or is that just something completely separate?
No, like we had magic and stuff, but a lot of that stuff is lost. You got to think like the trade that was the Viking that my ancestors thrived on. because it was an occupation, not like a culture necessarily. There was a culture based around the occupation, and we certainly did occupy parts of Great Britain and France. Absolutely.
Um, are there any conspiracy theories right now that spark your interest?
Hmm. I don't know if it's so. Um, JFK, that guy from that other podcast that I was talking about. His name is Marcus Parks. He has this fringe theory that I like about how
What is it?
JFK died, and that when the dude took the shot, uh, he hit the guy in the front seat, but it was actually a Secret Service member that fumbled his sidearm that actually killed JFK. The other bullet only grazed JFK and killed the guy in the front seat or something.
And so, where was this guy standing? In like Dealey Plaza
In the
or
back
what?
seat of the car.
Oh, I
With,
see. Okay, so based off the direction he went, because he
yeah, he
like
was trying to pull out his weapon to return fire, and the theory is that he, fumbled it, and that's why, it seemed like, the ammunition was wrong, the distance was wrong, nothing made sense. It's because the guy was in the car. It was one of the one of the worst workplace accidents in U.S. history.
so basically the cover up then would be to protect the guy who fumbled the retaliation shot.
I don't know what happened to him. I only know the the headline of the theory. I don't know, uh, any details about how Marcus got there. But he is from Texas, so, and he does research true crime. So for me, it's like I don't have the time to put into actually finding out if it's really true, but I kind of like the whole Schrodinger effect on it. It's fun to think about, but I don't need to know the real answer.
And I was listening to something recently about Jack Ruby and him being a big part of MK Ultra when he was in prison before
Jack
he was
Ruby?
released.
Wait,
Yeah, that's the guy.
Jack.
Yeah, Jack Ruby killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh, gotcha. No, it was confusing for a second because in Cleveland, I think we had or in Brecksville, Ohio, where my family's from, we had a mayor named Ruby. So it threw me off for a second. I was like, wait, what?
Gotcha.
I was like, are we talking about the same people?
So talk to us about your upbringing, speaking of Ohio. How was that like?
Oh, it was interesting. I didn't actually grow up in Ohio. Like I grew up in South Carolina. I lived in Ohio for like the first 8 years of my life, but I don't really think I found myself there. I found myself in South Carolina for sure, or at least
The more formative years were in South Carolina.
with that.
I said your more formative years were in South
Oh yeah,
Carolina.
oh yeah. That's where my high school best friend lives, and my high school sweetheart was there. I don't know, wherever high school is, that's kind of where I kind of see more of home than kind of where you're born sometimes. Like I don't really have a lot of connections to the people from that community in Ohio where I would have gone to school. Um, I mean, I do, but it's not really like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense for me. I was born in Denver, raised in Vegas, but I just recognize Vegas as more a home, is where I came up. The only thing that I really associate with Denver and myself is being a Broncos fan. So, uh, You know,
Yeah,
get
I
where
mean
you're
that
coming
sounds
from.
about as tough as being a Browns fan, except you guys actually went to the Super Bowl.
I'm curious because we've been kind of asking a lot of people this lately. Have you ever had a paranormal experience or seen a UFO?
I mean, aside from the universe's reaction to my initiation, I guess. Let's see here. There was see, this one was like LSD induced when I was like maybe 19. And but it was like a shared hallucination, so it was really weird, And I've never had anything like it since. But me and a buddy of mine had taken maybe 2 or 3 tabs apiece, and we were just about peaked. And I went to, we were in a basement, right? And like basements are spooky only because like energy seems to settle, in a downward motion. Or as far as negative energy, anyways. So, and they had some weird shit happen in their house. So I'm not really sure why we were in the basement because like they didn't have like adults, around that were, watching over us or anything like that. But I don't know. I guess there was a big TV down there, and that's what it was. But I went to the other side of the basement, and my buddy calls to me, and he's like, "Bro, are you done yet?" I'm like, "I haven't even got to the other side." And as soon as I answer him and look down, like I knew I was peeking then because like there was like a corpse-sized pile of bugs just swarming, and I was like, "Fuck!" And I go and take a piss, and the toilet tries to eat me. I expected that. Um, but I go back to the other side, and my buddy tells me what he saw when he called out. He saw, I guess, that spirit of whatever that corpse-sized pile of bugs was. It was a little girl, and as she was walking towards him, like she's maybe 8 or 9, like maybe native, like 1800s or some shit. Like he didn't recognize the style of her clothes or anything like that. And Ohio had a lot of natives that occupied that area, but yeah, I guess the skin was like falling off of her face or whatever. It's like, so it's kind of like we saw, a shared experience of the same thing. Um, I don't know. I've only seen really like funny and pleasant and weird stuff while tripping on most things. Aside from
Thank God.
my college trip, I took DMT in college more than a few times, and I think I just went to Valhalla or something, or like where Metatron is from or something. It was just like this translucent city of light, and then I came back. Like, okay, what is this, little Mickey? Hello, son.
Well, Laurel, have you ever seen anything paranormal?
I don't know if well, yes, actually. I was at a friend's house who lives over in Oak Cliff and in like an old historic neighborhood. And she was married to this lady at the time who had this creepy fucking doll that she would take everywhere with her. She would send people home from the bar with this fucking doll. I can't remember what its name was. Fancy. The doll's name was Fancy. And whenever that doll was in the house, creepy shit happened. We were out having a pool day. I was standing in my friend's kitchen alone, and I hear footsteps coming down the hallway. And I think it's some of my friends that are there. I'm like making a drink in the kitchen or something. And a few minutes later, my best friend and someone else walk in, and I was like, "Oh, were you guys just coming down the hallway?" And we look up and see this black just go across the mirror in the hallway. It freaked me the fuck out. And I asked my friend that lives there, and she said she hears footsteps up and down the hallway all the time. I had to spend the night there that night. It was really not my favorite evening. That was the only scary one that I've had happened. When my aunt passed away when I was 15, the day of her funeral, my grandma gave me a piece of her jewelry. It was like this big, chunky, gaudy Swarovski crystal ring. And the face of the ring was a bunch of small rhinestones. So it was really sparkly, but it was all one color, just like a hot pink. And when I put it on and looked down later at the funeral, there was like the inside of the ring had changed colors, and there was like a small heart of a different color. It could have been like a thermal ring and I didn't know. But a few years later, I lost the ring, and I obviously was very, very upset about it. Tore my house apart looking for it, and came home one day, and the ring was sitting on the counter of my bathroom on the very corner, facing outwards where you saw it right when you walked in.
Oh, wow.
I was the only one home alone. I had been the first one home. Like, me and my mom and my brother all left the house at the same time that morning. I called her. She hadn't found it. My brother hadn't found it. Neither of them had been home that day, and it was not there when I was in the bathroom that morning. So that was pretty cool. I don't know if that's all considered paranormal though.
I would say, I mean, it's at least a glitch in the matrix, I think.
Yeah. Or someone, my aunt communicating and saying, "Here, bitch, I found your ring. Don't lose it again." And I did, and I never got it back. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm going to branch off of here into some paranormal news because Laurel's story just reminded me of it. But,
Annabelle?
Annabelle is fucking missing.
What?
Yeah, so get this. So, Ed died in 2006, and then Lorraine died in 2019. Well, when she died in 2019, their daughter Judy took over their estate and the Lorraine and the Warren Museum. Okay, so I guess Judy has been letting a paranormal team take Annabelle on their like speaking tours, and they've been like taking her out, and now Annabelle has disappeared from the tour truck. Nobody can find her. Nobody knows what happened to her. She, they had her in the case, and now she's gone. So there's the manhunt for the real Annabelle doll, which doesn't really look like anything. It doesn't really look the way it does in the movies. It looks like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah.
That's actually creepy.
Yeah. That's scary. Yeah. Where were they when it disappeared?
I'm not sure, but let me try and find out.
I know they were in Louisiana, and there's like as soon as they left that area, there's a plantation that caught on fire, and there were some like anomalies.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and then I heard this other theory that when Ed died, that he may have donated the real Annabelle to the Vatican, and it's like in the Vatican vaults, just hidden away.
That'd be crazy.
I had to.
Was that a ring? Was that a convenient ringtone, or somebody trying to play with a sound effect?
Oh no, that was me looking it up on YouTube really fast.
Perfect timing.
I mean, I was hoping for good timing, and I was blessed with good timing. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Another demonstration of your magic.
Arash, Arash, while you were still living in Vegas, did you ever go to Zach Baggins Museum?
No, I really wanted to. I dated this chick who lived off of 4th Street, and so that was like right there, like up the street basically. Because it was on Maine or Charleston?
Did she smell
Yeah,
like
it's
4th
over there
Street?
in like the arts. It's in the arts district somewhere. I think it's
Yeah,
on
but
Charleston though.
this whole time, for some reason, I thought he had Annabelle up until it went on tour.
Maybe
No, it's
maybe
been
Annabelle became your girlfriend.
maybe
Met her.
he may have had it. Maybe he had it on loan or something for a little while, but I don't know. Maybe on its tour it went through Vegas.
It might
I
have
thought it
just
was.
been
I
a
thought it was kept there.
Look, if they keep making Conjuring movies, they're eventually going to get to Annabelle Goes to Vegas. It's gonna be a fucking hit. It's gonna be like Vegas Vacation.
Or it's like leaving Las Vegas too.
Get Jim Varney to voice Annabelle from Beyond the Grave.
When did Jim Varney die? I feel like he died a long time
2
ago.
years
didn't he?
ago. Something
2
like
years
that.
ago? Okay.
Really?
Not long
I
ago.
thought he didn't. That's
Yeah,
Ernest, right?
He died. Yeah, Ernest.
Yeah, that
gets
is
good
Ernest.
stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always think his voice sounds like Sling Blade, like.
Mm-hmm. Give me some mustard with my biscuits.
Fucking Rachel
fried potatoes. Mm-hmm.
Rachel
Mm-hmm.
Zegler looked like fucking Sling Blade and Snow White. I don't know what was up with that underbite.
I think she looks like Lord Farquaad, but yeah.
Oh my god, she does.
Wait, who?
Lord Farquaad, the
No,
villain
who?
from Shrek.
I know who that is.
Rachel Zegler, the girl who plays the new Snow White.
Oh, yeah, she does.
In the live
She should have
action.
got her jaw
Yeah.
reconstructed. I can help her with that.
What's your media content with the kid like? Are you having to watch a lot of these Disney movies and stuff or?
Dude, I just got my kid to watch the old school Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons, so I'm doing great.
Nice.
That
That's
is
awesome.
And the old
How old's your kid?
almost 4.
Wow.
I got him on the 87 Turtles too.
Hell yeah.
Not
87
hard.
Turtles is the best one.
He's not hard on the 87 ones. He's more in like 2018. But like he'll get back to there. He's into the one where it's like half shell heroes where they're like hanging out with dinosaurs and stuff. And I can understand that being almost 4. I'm like dinosaurs and turtles. Yeah, how could
I imagine for kids now, it's probably hard for them to go back to the animation that we were watching when we were kids because the drastic difference in quality and the look of it. So
Have you watched Peppa? Nah. Our shit was superior.
yeah, no, I agree. I was watching like X-Men and Ninja Turtles when I was a kid. So
Like that was like anime, dude. We were basically raised on anime, like Sunday morning anime or Saturday morning anime. Like all of our cartoons that we had back then were like, I remember this one with a koala bear that like, it was like a fucking portal shifting koala bear or something like that. It was like early anime. That was like more legit, but like, they also had the real Ghostbusters. Like that shit was legit too.
how come? You know what I liked about when they would try and make a cartoon out of like a live action movie that they were just trying to bank on? Like they always took like a villain, like monster, and like tried to just make them one of the team in like the cartoon. Like in that, like Slimer was on the team in that. And it was the same. You remember when they did like after the 1998 like Godzilla movie that everybody hates, that which I honestly kind of have a little bit of appreciation for that movie aside from the bad CGI. But
Great soundtrack.
My
great
dad
soundtrack.
hated that soundtrack because fucking Jimmy Page agreed to do anything with Diddy. He was like fucking so bad.
Oh, he knew he knew about Diddy beforehand, right?
No,
Crazy.
no, he was just racist. Yeah, no, he hated him for really inappropriately ignorant reasons.
Is your
Laughable,
dad from South
maybe.
Carolina?
Maybe he knew something.
No. My dad's from Ohio. It's like my dad's family though, like is Eastern European. So I don't know any other Eastern Europeans really, but I hope they're not as racist as my family. Because holy fuck,
Oh, they
they're
are.
Oh, they are.
like I don't understand. Like we're not really white. Like they just gave us that title so we didn't rise up against the fucking system. Same with the Irish. It used to say no blacks, no Irish on the fucking signs outside during segregation and shit. They fucking took that shit back real fast.
Yeah, just
Uh,
like yeah. Why did they hate the Irish so much? Like they were trying to like potato famine
oh,
wasn't, like it's like the British were trying to kill them by
there's a
they were
functional
like
reason.
purposely destroying their crops.
Right. But check it out. There's a functional reason. And honestly, from the aspect of the U.S. like military, I can kind of understand. But also, I still stand with the Irish. So basically, during the War of 1812, Irish soldiers went down to fight. That was the one against Mexico, right?
I think no. 1812 was the war with the second war with England, where they burned the White House.
Oh, well, whatever
Are you
the
talking about the Spanish American
Mexican
War?
American War, whatever it was called. Um, the American military brought in support from Ireland, and then they all took Mexico's side. They all defected, or at least that's how the story goes.
Was it because there was British people that they were fighting, basically, or what was the reasoning?
No, because they were both Catholic. The British aren't Catholic. It was always Catholic versus Protestant back then.
Oh,
Yeah, but naturally, still because America is like England's baby. Naturally, we're like waspy as fuck when it comes to like influence from in Washington and all that. So naturally, it's kind of just like England versus Ireland version 2.0. Except they had some help. I used to
what the
think I
most?
was like hella Irish, but it turns out my family just occupied Ireland for a long time. I'm related to Eric the Red.
Who's Eric the Red? Pardon my ignorance.
Leif Erikson's dad, the guy who discovered America for real. My family's been here longer than the Spanish, and I still don't. I had to get DNA done a couple of years ago for health reasons because I had like this chronic pain issue, and I was trying to rule out reasons, right? So I went to my doctor to get a DNA test done because don't trust the 23andMe or whatever. Any kind of private shit like that's all run by Mormons, and they're gonna sell your fucking information to insurance companies if you have like health issues. Anyways, so I went to a doctor to get it done, and I was like, I wasn't super curious about the ancestry thing, but I was like, it'd be cool if y'all could throw that in there. And they had like more of a generalized one, but literally not one bit of DNA for me comes from this continent. Everything comes from Northern Europe and like places where we occupied for before America. So like Northern France and the United Kingdom pretty heavily.
So I've heard of this theory before, where they say there's some historians that suggest that the Vikings landed and were the first actual Europeans to land on North America.
Vinland
Is that
Saga,
what you're
dude.
referring to?
All you got to do is, there's even movies about it or TV shows or whatever. I think there's an anime about it. It tells the whole story about how we were, it doesn't really mention other people really. It just mentions our interactions with with the original, the people that are here before. Or in Vinland would have been like Labrador. They landed basically in like Labrador, like just north of Halifax. But
That makes sense.
basically, the story goes, as I've heard it, is leave Eric's or all right. So Eric killed somebody in Sweden or Norway, and his family. We were or they were expelled, sent away, and that's how Greenland or Iceland rather was founded. And then Leaf kind of had a similar experience in Iceland and took people to Greenland or something like that. And or maybe maybe it was Eric that discovered both of them, and Leaf was. Leaf discovered America because he went through the same shit though. As far as that,
Yeah.
that's the way the story goes.
I
Like he
think-
killed somebody that the government didn't like that he killed them, like it was unwarranted or whatever. Like how you fuck you gonna? I don't know. Disputes back then were pretty. It's hard to say, who was right and who was wrong, but we were getting kicked out of a lot of places for stabby. We were like really juggalos. What is a juggalo?
That's the first time I've heard that comparison, but sure. But yeah, I think
It's the first time for everything.
Greenland and Iceland were discovered at the same time, and that's why their names are like that. So it was to trick, I guess, pirates and other sailors at the time.
Nope.
It's like
It was to trick new people to move there. They're like, Greenland sounds fucking good place to live, right?
yeah, exactly. But
Eric
Iceland
was trying
is
to
much
get people
greener.
to move there. So in order to find he had this whole exploration plan that he was having trouble getting support for. So he had to get private support. I think they covered a little bit in the Vikings TV show, but not hardly with the amount of focus that would give you any necessary understanding of it.
Imagine landing onto Greenland and then being like, "Oh shit, it's nothing but fucking ice." I'd be pissed.
It's the Arctic Circle, yeah, dude. It's like thawed for 2 to 4 months a year, probably.
Have you guys heard about the rumor for who's going to be Princess Zelda in the upcoming movie?
Oh, the Hunter Schafer rumors?
Yeah.
What?
What do you think about that, Josh?
What? I'm fine with it. She honestly, the fucking mock-ups and the pictures when people show them compared.
That's a girl?
Looks. What, Hunter Schafer?
She's trans.
Oh.
I think she transitioned at 9. That's the controversy, is that people don't really want a trans woman to play Zelda, but I don't have a problem with it. She kind of fits the look.
Boo hoo.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Remember when
dude, she was in Cuckoo. I saw that.
In Zoolander 2, Michael Fassbender, I think it's it's Benedict Cumberbatch. He plays some gender fluid character, and there was all sorts of controversy to where he has to apologize.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
They're like, oh, someone trans should have played that. It's acting. It's acting. Fucking Mel Gibson wasn't a fucking Scot back in the day. He played, he acted as one, or it's just dumb. So
yeah,
it's hypocritical, in a way, for Benedict Cumberbatch to get that criticism. I'm on the side of it's acting, so I'm fine with Hunter playing Zelda, but it's I don't know, it's not going to be received well.
she looks like Zelda. What the fuck are people talking? Like,
I think so too.
How many scenes does Zelda have? Like for real, you know, like what? Like you cut to her every once in a while, just like waiting and longing and being locked up by Ganondorf, waiting for Link to
I
come
don't.
get her.
I don't think it's going to be damsel in distress. I think it's going to be just like Mario Brothers, where she plays like a big role. Like probably is going to be Sheik or something majority of the time.
they're mad because
Well,
they're
she
turned on by her.
if they're, do you think that they're going the Ocarina of Time route? Because yeah, like in Ocarina of Time, yeah, you know, because she is Sheik, she has a lot more to do in that versus any other Zelda story.
I think so. I don't think it's going to be
Which they
necessarily
probably do go with Ocarina, right? That's the most popular Zelda story.
if they're going to pick one of the games, I would say probably Ocarina.
Unless they're gonna get, unless they got Guillermo del Toro making the Twilight Princess, then I'm fucked.
All I'm saying is Jason Statham as fucking Ganon.
Is
I don't know why.
They're probably gonna pick the fucking Rock to play Ganon, right?
Is that the
Jack
villain?
Black is, yeah. Jack Black is Zelda's dad.
Fuck yeah.
Just dye his hair gray.
Something ridiculous.
Something ridiculous.
All I know is this: if Link speaks in the movie, I'm gonna be so pissed. Yeah, he's gonna have a British accent.
Yeah, bro, it's probably, are they gonna get Timmy Chalamet to play fucking
Dude,
Link?
I swear to God, I was just thinking about Link. It is gonna be him, isn't it?
Absolutely, bro. Him and Hunter Schafer, like that's what they're gonna do. 100%. We fucking called it here.
Dude, Hunter's hot. That's why they're mad.
Why?
They're
Because
like-
they think all trans chicks should look like fucking Caitlyn Jenner.
Because they're scared of being attracted to him.
That could be a big possibility.
It's like Mac, dude. Think about an episode of It's Always Sunny, right? Where Mac is like all into that chick, and he's like, "Oh, we can't make it official until you get it cut off." And then she ends up with that other dude, and then he, goes off in the whole tangent about like how God doesn't like trans people or some shit. And they're like, "Well, you were with her before she got the transition, so."
Hypothetically speaking here, if someone hooks up with another person who, and it's the straight person here, okay, and they find someone attractive, thinking it's like a cis woman, and then they find out at like during, while they're getting it on, find out it's a pre-op trans person. Is that a crime? For like
It's a
should the
misunderstanding. If you're too drunk to notice a hard dick,
You mean that they didn't like reveal it
yeah,
ahead of time?
Is it some sort of sexual harassment? Like I think these things are going to pop up in society more and more as we get further along.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around it only because my first thought was that can be really dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't disclose that to somebody and that person is not into that,
There's a whole Nip Tuck episode about that where like the son from the main doctor like beats the shit out of a trans girl when she finds out she's got a dick. So
Wow.
you said eats or beats?
beats
Beat?
beats the fuck out of her.
Oh.
Yeah, just like,
Oh, that's not cool. I think
and then leaves.
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's
No.
nice.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Hey, they got assholes too. No, I'm saying
not
like,
a happy ending to that story.
I was talking about rim jobs. I didn't realize he was. Sorry. Rusty trombone. I don't know. Still thinking about Hunter Schafer.
Oh, I have a we're getting up to an hour, but I have kind of a funny one to kind of close out on if you guys want to discuss. But how do you guys feel about Offset asking Cardi B for spousal support?
For what?
Offset is asking Cardi B for spousal support.
Does Offset not have work?
Well, so Migos has kind of died off, like once, the three of them started feuding and then one of them died.
Yeah.
And
I
then
remember that.
the other two the other two have been releasing solo work, but nothing anywhere close to what they were. Now he's saying that he was, used to, so he's been trying to get back with Cardi B since they broke up, but like he cheated on her and he had it pretty good. She's, she's a hit maker. She's got one fucking album and has like 8 top 40 hits off that fucking record that like went into the top 10. So, she's fucking well off. She doesn't really have to do much to keep making money. Now she's got a new man. She's like showing off with her new man. And then all of a sudden you got Offset asking for spousal support because he's not making any money in the music industry anymore because the end of his career is tied to the breakdown of Migos, and
they don't have kids?
They do have kids.
Is he taking care of the kids?
They have one kid. I don't think so.
It seems like a dangerous thing
he's not
to
asking
do.
He's not asking for child support. He's asking for spousal support. He's saying that he got used to a certain lifestyle with Cardi B, and he wants her to keep. He wants her to keep giving him money, but like he cheated on her, so like the whole industry's just like talking. The whole hip hop industry's just like mad talking shit to him right now.
Oh well,
yeah, absolutely,
like
he's a fucking loser.
I think if we're going towards the route of equality, then it's like
Arash, don't say it.
Like Anna Nicole Smith. Like,
don't fucking say it. Don't.
But no, seriously. Like, if the breadwinner should pay the one that wasn't as well off.
Yeah, but like but when you fuck around, then you forfeit all of that responsibility.
There is adultery involved. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, there's adultery, and he's not taking care of the kid. He's not talking about child support. He's talking about spousal support. That sounds like you need to go get a job, bro.
Were they married or no? They were, right?
Spousal they were married.
Yeah. Well, I would be shocked if Cardi B didn't make him sign a prenup.
Probably what
or
exactly
vice
like
versa.
That.
Or she might have not thought he was that soft. Because that's a bad look in the hip hop industry. Is to ask as a dude ask for spousal support.
Especially when like Migos first popped off, they were like the face of like fucking trap.
Who? It's Offset, and who else is the other one?
Does he not have money?
Offset, Takeoff, and oh man, what's
the one that died? Right? Is that the one we're forgetting?
Left Eye Lopez.
Young Laurel over here.
Right Eye Lopez.
Offset, Takeoff, and Quavo.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Oh, Quavo's the one that died?
Takeoff died.
Damn.
2022. 22. No, Takeoff died.
Sorry. R.I.P.
In 2022.
He took off.
He was shot in Houston. He took off.
Take off. That's a good way to remember that. Wait, I missed that. What was that?
Well, I think we should sign off on that. Let's take off.
Smoking every day.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Rob.